Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. I got a brand new Lattafa fragrance haul for you guys. 3 new ones I recently added to my collection. We're gonna do an unboxing, give you my first impressions, so let's just jump right into it. All right, so I got another fragrance haul for you guys. It's 3 Lattafas. I picked all these up from Fragrance Buy. I'll leave links down in the description if you want to check them out. Really excited for this one. This was a part of a larger haul that I got in. I got a huge haul. It was like 13 bottles of fragrances, and I couldn't do all those in one video. So I'm gonna have links down below to some of those other hauls that I've recently done, so you can go check out those as well. Lattafas, Paris corners, all sorts of different fragrances in there, so lots of good content there. So after this video, go check those out because they're really good videos. But without further ado, let's jump into some unboxings. All right, so first up on the list, we have one from the House of Lattafa. It's Sheikh Shuyukh Final Edition. I am almost certain I butchered that name. I picked this up from Fragrance Buy. Like I said, link will be down in the description. I also have a coupon code, save yourself $5 off your first purchase of Fragrance Buy. If you're interested in purchasing from them, it will be down in the description below, so go check it out. This fragrance cost me $23. It is an eau de parfum concentration, and let's just bust right into it. Let's just get going here. All right, so there we have the box for Sheikh Shuyukh Final Edition. So it's got this nice kind of silver, almost wood texture to it on there. All the necessaries on the bottom, and it's got kind of a picture, I'm not sure if you can pick it up, of kind of an Arab man, kind of looking all mysterious and majestic right there. I've done a little bit of research now that I'm really getting into Middle Eastern fragrances in the last year or so. So I did a little research of what the name Sheikh Shuyukh means, and it means like a venerable, you know, respected older man teacher type idea. If I got that wrong, like let me know down in the comments below, but that's what my research has indicated. And so that's why you come to Post Cologne. You get fragrance reviews and you get all this extra knowledge on top. So hit that subscribe button. Do that. All sorts of fun facts here. Let's jump right into this. Ooh, this is not your typical box. I was figuring I would just pop the lid off this and away we go, and I would just toss the box. I still might toss the box. This actually slides out. This is actually a little sleeve on here, so that's a nice little added touch. You know, a little bit different than your usual box. All right, so there we have the bottle for Sheikh Shuyukh Final Edition. Really heavy bottle. This is quite nice. It's got like a little bit of a texture on the front there. It's got kind of like a material pattern texture. Kind of nice. I like the shape of this. This is, you know, a little bit more creative than your typical just kind of rectangular or square bottle, so it is nice. Has a little jewel on top of the cap right there. That's kind of interesting as well. It is a cheap plastic, pretty lightweight. It's kind of what you expect from $23 fragrances, but it is a nice presentation. I do like this presentation. It's nice. It's nice. So let's find out what this smells like. Right off the jump, it's a very fresh, sort of sweet, a little bit tart style of fragrance, very aromatic in the very opening here. It has a little bit of a fruit sweetness in the very top, and it's like a little bit sparkly citrus at the top as well. Again, it's very fresh with this opening, and there are some aromatics in here for sure. I'm definitely getting that very aromatic, fresh, light sort of feel to it. It's very, very nice, this opening. It's quite soft, has that kind of versatile sort of vibe going on to this. I'm really enjoying this. As this is kind of settling down a little bit with those aromatics and kind of that slight sweet opening, that fresh sweet opening, I'm getting a little bit of spice starting to come through, a little bit of like woodiness to it. I've heard it was very similar to Fakhar, and I'm not too sure. This doesn't have that same sort of sweetness as Fakhar. It has a little bit more kind of spice to it. But I would say, you know, it's kind of in that same neighborhood. But this is very pleasant. This is like very like mass appealing, crowd pleaser style fragrance. It doesn't have like a very Middle Eastern vibe. Like there's no like strong like saffron or oud or anything sort of coming through with this. This is just a very clean, fresh, semi-sweet with a little bit of spice and woods coming through. It's very, very nice. Really enjoying this opening. Like this presentation. Let's just skip to the dry down, see how this kind of settles in, what this kind of turns into. But so far, really enjoying this. All right, so we are back with the dry down of Sheikh Shuyukh Final Edition. I'm definitely saying that wrong. I apologize. It's a bit of a mouthful and I'm sorry. It's a hard name to pronounce. This dry down is very, very nice. That initial sweetness that I may have gotten at the very beginning, again, it was very like a subtle sweetness, a fruit sweetness that was there, has subsided into the background a bit. I'm still getting that kind of sparkly, citrusy sweetness that's there. It's a very kind of ginger style of sweetness, but it's in the background, and what's really come forward is a lot of aromatics have come through. Now it's this kind of medley of like some sage, geranium, juniper style aromatics. It adds kind of a fresh, spicy sweetness to it. So this has gotten a little bit spicier, and it's sitting on this really nice, rich sort of wood base to it. That mix of that sparkly citrus with the aromatics and that wood base is making this like a really nice fragrance. It's a lot more mature and a lot richer than the Fakhar, the Lattafa Fakhar. I unboxed that, I don't know, a week or so ago, and it has a lot more sweetness to it. It doesn't come across as spicy, and I find this one has a little bit more depth to it and definitely a lot more maturity to it. And I really, really like this one. I like the Fakhar too, don't get me wrong, but it's a different style of fragrance to this. There are overlaps with it, but this one, like I said, it comes across a little bit more kind of classy, gentlemanly, a little bit more mature, as the name would suggest, as I gave you in the hot tip earlier of what this means. This means like a venerable man, you know, a little bit more respectable, classy teacher style of fragrance, and that suits this very well because it does come across a little bit more mature. It's really, really nice. This is going to be a very versatile fragrance. I can see this being worn across all different seasons, spring, summer, fall, maybe even in the winter this could push through, because it does have that level of spice and that woodiness to it that I think this would, you know, cut through the cold quite a bit. Ultra versatile fragrance so far. I'm going to definitely get this on skin, see how it performs, see how it reacts on my skin. Again, being on paper and in the air is one thing, but getting it on skin is the full test. But for $23, I am really happy with this. Nice presentation, very, you know, classy, modern style looking bottle. Definitely think this is worth checking out. Full review coming on this one for sure. That is Sheikh Shuyukh Final Edition. All right, so next up in the Lattafa haul is one that probably needs no introduction because everybody's been talking about this one. It's super popular in the community, and it's a super popular Lattafa fragrance, and that is Lattafa's Asad. Now again, with my super research skills, I discovered that the name Asad in Arabic means lion, which would kind of match with this gold emblem that's right on the front of the box, meaning lion. So I'm assuming this is going to be a very fierce style fragrance, but let's just jump into it and find out ourselves. All right, so there we have it, the Lattafa Asad. Now, I've heard a million times over that this is a Sauvage Elixir clone, or very close to, inspired by, whatever. I have to admit, I am not the biggest Dior Sauvage fan of any of them, the EDT, Parfum, the 300 different variations of Sauvage, including Elixir. They're okay, I just never really got super hyped about it. I'm not sure if it's just because I'm a bit of a hipster and I'm just like not wanting to smell like everyone's ex-boyfriend. Could be that, just the scent profile maybe for me just never really popped off that much to the point where I was willing to drop several $100s to get a bottle of Sauvage. So just being honest with you guys, I'm just not a huge Sauvage fan, but everyone keeps talking about this, and for $23 at Fragrance Buy, I figured this is maybe a safer bet to go if I do enjoy the scent profile. I only spent $23 versus maybe $200. So let's give this a whiff, see what we got. So right out the gate, it has similarities to Sauvage Elixir's opening, but I wouldn't say it's exactly the same, to be honest. It has this kind of, you know, black pepper spice to it. It has like a little bit of sweetness at the top. A little bit of like I believe pineapple was maybe listed with this, and there's like a tobacco kind of edge. So it does have that spice, has a little bit of sweetness, but it doesn't have that same sort of elixir sort of spice to it. It's a little bit different. I can see why the comparison's drawn, but for me, I'm finding it a little bit different. It's inspired by, but I wouldn't say this is like directly trying to copy Sauvage Elixir, in my opinion, on my first impression at least. There was listed a note of coffee and patchouli and iris that's supposed to be in the mid here. I am picking up maybe a little bit on that coffee note and a little bit of earthiness coming through. The iris for me is not punching through. It's the spiciness, that little touch of sweetness from that citrusy sort of sweetness coming through. with, again, a little touch of that coffee note and a little bit of earthiness from like maybe some patchouli coming through. So again, this is in the neighborhood of Sauvage Elixir, but again, I'm finding this a little bit different. One thing I am not picking up on that I'm actually really liking from this one versus the Elixir is Elixir has this licorice note that's in it. And for me, I hate black licorice. I think black licorice is absolutely disgusting. That's just my opinion. I'm sorry, that might be a hot take for some people, but I do not like licorice. And that's one of the reasons I didn't like Elixir too much. It was just that licorice note. Not picking that up in this, and that is definitely a bonus for me. This will make it a lot more wearable and enjoyable. This isn't very spicy. At the very beginning, you get that black pepper, but it does subside fairly quickly. I remember with Elixir when I wore it a couple times and like I had a little sampler, all that kind of stuff. I remember it just being a very, very like punchy spice at the beginning, and again with that licorice that's mixed in there, but that really punchy spice. The spice in here is a little bit more subdued, I'm finding, and it is a touch more sweeter than I remember Elixir being. So I like this one. This is very nice. It has that spice, it has a little bit of that kind of earthiness from the patchouli, a little bit of sweetness to it, a little bit of coffee, tobacco sort of vibe going on. I really like this. This is nice. This is like very like easy to wear, still crowd pleasing. Really nice opening. I'm enjoying this so far. Let's get to the dry down, see how this kind of develops and what it turns into. All right, so it's been almost an hour and we are back with the dry down of Lattafa's Asad. And I forgot in my initial intro to show you guys the bottle. I kind of held it to the camera, but I didn't really show it off. It is a very nice bottle. It has this, you know, gold wrap around it with that lion emblem on there. Lataffa logo on top. Cool little shape. It starts kind of triangular and then kind of tapers down to a circular base to it. So it's a very nice bottle. I do like this. This is, you know, very kind of elegant looking, a little bit on the mysterious side. It's very nice presentation, very nice bottle. I neglected it. I just got ahead of myself about talking about Sauvage Elixir. And let me tell you, this is dried down a little bit more like Sauvage Elixir. In the opening, like I had said, I didn't quite, like I saw the similarities, but I thought it was like they kind of were veering off from each other. But it is a lot more similar in the dry down here, I'm finding. It's become a little bit kind of warm, spicy, a little punch of vanilla is coming through, a little powdery. That patchouli earthiness has come through a lot more. That initial blast of spice has subsided a little bit. It's not as spicy as it was at the very beginning here. It's a little bit sweeter and less spicier than Sauvage Elixir, from, if memory serves me. This comes across like definitely sweeter to my nose. And I remember like Elixir does have that spicy punch to it, like for the duration of that fragrance. Not picking up on that level of spiciness from it. It is there, and I can see why people think this is definitely like a Sauvage Elixir, you know, inspiration, dupe, clone, side-by-side, close comparison, whatever you want to call it. I can see why that comparison is made because it is definitely in that neighborhood of Sauvage Elixir. But I like this better. Like I said, I don't get that licoricey style note that comes through in Elixir, and the spiciness in Elixir is nice. I like it, but I don't know. I find this one to just be a little bit more enjoyable to me, a little bit more wearable. Slightly veers off from Elixir, so it makes this a little bit more unique. So I really, really like this one. Like Sauvage, I'm going to say Sauvage 100 times in this video, and I don't like to. It is very mass appealing style fragrance. This is a crowd pleasing style fragrance. This has got some mysteriousness to it, but some playful sides to it. A little bit kind of mature, gentlemanly vibes going on to it, but also a little flirty on the same point. It is a very, very nice fragrance. I'm definitely going to be wearing this one. This is something that I can definitely see in my rotation. Fall, winter style fragrance, I think for sure, with that spice and that kind of that warm, spicy sweetness that's involved with this. I think this would be great in those kind of seasons. I think spring you could probably pull this off. Summer this might be a little bit too much in my opinion, but we're gonna have to give this a full wearing because it's one thing to get it on test strips and in the air. It's another thing to get it on skin, see how it performs. I'll do a full review of this for you guys, so don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss that. That is Sauvage. See what I did there? I just said this is Lattafa Asad. All right, so last but certainly not least, I hope, because I've never smelled this and I don't know, is Lattafa's Sha'ari. Now again, with my super detective skills, I've discovered that Sha'ari, which is spelled slightly different in Arabic, means poetry, which would really explain why we got this fountain pen nib on the front, and we got this little calligraphy fountain pen feather on the back. So there you go, a little fun fact. This is supposed to mean poetry. But let's dig into this, see if this is actually very poetic or what we got going on here. So the box is kind of nice. It is just a normal cardboard box, but it does have this kind of like wood texture to it. It does have the kind of reflective pen nib on the front, all your necessaries on the bottom. So nothing too spectacular, but I don't know, I kind of like that texture on it in the shimmery gold fountain pen nib. It's better than nothing. All right, so here we go. Here's the bottle for Lattafa's Sha'ari. Now this is an eau de parfum concentration. Picked this up from Fragrance Buy for $23. So let's hope this is worth it. That is a big cap. Plastic cap to this. You know, it does feel cheap, but it's huge. It's probably one of the biggest caps I have in my collection, to be honest. But a very nice presentation. I do like, you know, the style of this bottle. It is a little bit different. This kind of stands out from your typical, again, rectangular style of fragrances. So far all these fragrances in my haul have been fairly interesting bottles that kind of stand out. So I am liking that. I like a little bit of variety in my life. But let's figure out what this smells like. Oof, atomizer on this. That is powerful. Holy crap, look at this atomizer. Damn. This is a great opening. Wow, I really like how this opens. This has got a lot of like spicy, resinous sweetness, some like woody oud coming through like right out the jump. This is gorgeous. Very Middle Eastern vibe style opening to this. It has that saffron, that kind of woody oud, but there's these spices that are jumping out and this like really kind of balsamic, resinous sort of sweetness that's come through. Wow, I like this. This is probably my favorite opening of all three that I've done so far. This is right in my wheelhouse. Beautiful spice, beautiful woods. Again, with that resinous, this is very like dark, heavy, but it's got like a little bit of floral touch to it to kind of like soften the edges, so it's not like aggressive necessarily, but it definitely has that like spicy punch to it. I like this a lot. This is like definitely kind of like a fall winter style fragrance, like right in the opening here. But I am really liking this one. This one has actually surprised me. I wasn't too sure what to think about this one. I haven't heard anybody really talk about this one, so I didn't know what to expect. But this is absolutely fire right off the opening. So let's wait for this to dry down and see what we got. But so far, I am super pumped on this one. All right, so it's been about an hour since we did the initial spray of Lattafa's Sha'ari. I love this fragrance. This is, like I said in the very beginning, this translates to poetry. This is an absolute poetic fragrance to me so far. Of the bunch that I've reviewed today, this is hands down my favorite. This is very different. Like, this is not your typical kind of mass appeal, crowd pleasing, YSLY, Sauvage Elixir dupe style fragrances. This one stands on its own for me as just a beautiful fragrance. I love how this is coming across. The dry down has got this really nice sort of ambery touch of incense, kind of soft leather, almost suede-y, like sweet suede style vibes coming through with it. It's got that saffron that's still there, a little bit of that spice, and that woods is definitely there. Oh, this is so good. It has this like nice balsamic level of sweetness to it and this softness to it. At the very beginning, it was very spicy with those woods, but this is dried down into kind of like a nice, soft spicy with, like I said, that suediness to it and this like balsamic sweetness that's coming through with like just a touch of this incensey smoke and woods. This is absolutely gorgeous. I am really digging this one. This is an absolute banger. I cannot wait to wear this throughout the fall and the winter because I definitely think that's the vibe that this has. I'm waving this too much. That's what the vibe of this has. This is definitely one of those fall, cool evenings, winter style fragrance. This might not be like a compliment beast necessarily because it is very different. Like I said, this is necessarily like a mass appeal, easy to wear style fragrance. I think it's a very enjoyable fragrance to wear. Like I said, I cannot wait to wear this one. But this one is a little bit different. This may not be for everybody. Just the style of that kind of the saffron and the woods, a little touch of oud. The oud kind of like dissipates as this kind of dries down and you get more of that leather and that incense coming through with the woodiness. But it is a little bit, maybe not challenging, but it is different. It's very unique and I absolutely dig this one. I'm repeating myself at this point because I'm really excited about this one. I'm so glad I got this in my collection and I have to show this atomizer off again. This atomizer is just ridiculous. Ooh, Crazy, absolutely crazy. Presentation on this, really unique. Scent profile, really unique. Picked this up for $23 at Fragrance Buy. Super happy on this one. I am absolutely going to be doing a full review on this one. See how it performs on my skin. Get the whole experience. Really sink my teeth into this one. So again, don't forget to subscribe or else you're going to miss that one. Awesome fragrance. Think you should be checking it out. That's Lattafa's Sha'ari. All right, so there you have it. That's 3 new Lattaffas that I just recently added to my collection. My first impressions, the unboxing, all that jazz. Again, I'm gonna do reviews on all 3 of these because I think these are all winners. All 3 of these ones I'm really happy with, especially, and I don't know if I emphasize this enough, that Lattafa Sha'ari. I'm so excited I got that one. I was not expecting it. Super stoked on that one. I think the Shuyukh, I spelled that out phonetically, hoping I wouldn't butcher it, but I know I did. Again, you can roast me in the comments for pronouncing that wrong. That one is an awesome, versatile fragrance. I really enjoy that one. I enjoy that kind of that spicy woodiness that's at the base, and those aromatics that come through are really, really nice. Very versatile. I think that can be worn across so many different occasions. Can't wait to get that on skin. The Asad, I think that's a great one too. I like that spicy opening, but it has that kind of a little bit more sweetness than spice when it gets to the dry down, and a little bit of powderiness, that vanilla that comes through. A little bit different than Sauvage Elixir, but it's in that neighborhood, and it doesn't have the licorice notes. So I'm really glad about that one because that's what I did not like about Elixir. Super happy about all these. I am super glad I picked these ones up. Full reviews on those are definitely coming. So let me know down below, what's one new Lattafa that you recently picked up that you were really, really impressed with? Like, let me know down in the comments. I love hearing from you guys. Maybe it's something I haven't tried yet and I should be trying, so go do that. Go type in the comments, let me know. And if you enjoyed this video and you don't want to miss any of the full reviews, as I mentioned 3 times in this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.